What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trill here. I'm back again with a reaction video this time. I'm about to react to this video of something that I'm probably going to disagree with, but let's just hear him out.
The great day, July 1st. It's a holiday, meaning you get to chill at home. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is annoying me. This is, to me, one of the weirdest takes you can have about this Bradley Beal situation right now. Okay, so the tweet right here says it all. All-star guard Bradley Beal has agreed to a 5-year, $251 million maximum contract to stay with the Washington Wizards. Congrats to Bradley Beal, that's great. That's a lot of money, man. $250 million. Just to play basketball. That's amazing. A great feat to achieve.
That is.
And you're doing it
very great
in Washington D.C. I mean, it's a dream. And of course, a lot of people, they have their opinions on it, right? You know, I'm disappointed in your age. I mean, this is the type of stuff we've been seeing on our timelines lately. That, oh, Bradley Beal, he doesn't care about winning, right? This is all about the money. As though going and trying to get paid.
Let me pause right here. Do we though? Like, has Bradley Beal actively put pressure on the GM, the front? Has he done that? Like, seriously, the only thing we've seen of him trying to put pressure on the franchise is him pouting on the bench, him being disappointed. Like, no, he has not put an ounce of pressure on this franchise. They just, all right, here you go. We need the revenue here. $250 million to keep us from, not seeing the dollars we're getting right now. Here you go. I don't know.
As much money as you can, and somehow now you not caring about winning. No. Somehow you trying to accrue generational wealth for your family. No. You're not a winner anymore. You're not a guy that thinks about winning. No, there's a difference, right? There's a difference apparently. That's what we're being told. Obviously, in ESPN, they're talking about the situation with James Harden and his contract situation with Philly. So that's why they put them both up on the board right here. But let's not put two and two together and act like James Harden and Bradley Beal are on the same tier. Okay, James Harden is regressing, whereas Bradley Beal, he is dealing with injuries, but Bradley Beal's only 29 years old. He still has a lot of years left in him. Yep. James Harden is looking less and less likely that he'll play for another like 8 years. He probably played for like at most 5, at least like 3 years. I don't see James Harden playing that much, and I'm pretty sure James Harden's prime, I mean, we're seeing the end of it. So you look at these stats, you may be thinking, oh, Bradley Beal is not playing so good, considering he also averaged 32 points a game last season, and this season is like 23 points a game. What happened? The Wizards, of course, they're not as good of a team as they were last season. And, the beginning of the season, things looked very interesting for them at one point. But now there's the whole situation with Bradley Beal and his contract. And you have a lot of people, obviously, I already mentioned the injuries. They're becoming concerned that the Wizards...
Whoa. So... So this is what we doing? Like, you just said the team is not good. It's not good. You think we want to see Bradley Beal just sit up there and mope? Like, alright.
They're not going on the right track. And that criticism, I totally agree with. Why would the Wizards pay him this much money?
Okay.
And build a winning roster around him? Why would the Wizards do that? What are they doing going after Monte Morris, Will Barton,
okay,
and think, Porzingis at center? That's going to help Bradley Beal win games. Like, they're trying to make sure Bradley Beal is satisfied and happy because Bradley Beal has stuck with this team for so long.
Yes, he has.
And it's looking like he'll play there for 15 years of his career with the contract he's currently getting. 5 years, 250. Man, most of us will never, ever see that much money pile up in our bank account, man. That's... Woo! Man, I'm telling you, man. But this is where we get to ESPN. And, you know, it's not just people on Twitter saying this. You got even the media having these outrageous takes, man. It's just so weird, and I'll get into that. But first, I have to play the clip.
This is a direct quote from Zach Lowe earlier. Quote, "I have a lot to say about this." Go ahead.
I think the Wizards missed the boat on trading Bradley Beal. I think it was with 2 years left on his deal or something like that when his value is at an all-time high. And on this contract, I think it's going to be hard to get great value for Brad Beal if, as Bobby says, he ever goes to them and says, "I want out of here." I understand why they...
That's a good concern to have if you're the Wizards. I mean, why give him that much money when, with the way NBA players are behaving these days, especially the stars, he could want out at any point, and now you're forced to trade him. And it's like, okay, now you're going to have to deal with him aging, him getting older. In 3 years' time, if you come...
And that's another thing. Why do front offices just be giving out money like this? Then when the player wants out, oh my God, let's spill the tea to make this worse than it. No, that's your fault for giving him the money. You shouldn't be forced to give him the money. You can easily part ways with him right now when his value is still like high. Like, it's just a common thing. You sell high and you buy low. That's just how the game works. You're supposed to sell high on your investments, but
to you and says, "Yeah, I don't want to play here anymore. I want to try to win games." I guess that's how you know when somebody wants to win games, is when they want to, go to a team that's actually winning already. No, I'm telling you, these are such weird takes to have.
It's not
as though somebody that's being loyal to a team is now a fault in the NBA, right? That's really what we're seeing here. Damian Lillard, every time he's trying to stick up for Portland, he's being slandered. He wants to bring a championship to Portland, and somehow that's a fault. That's a fault. That's what we're hearing. Because we've been convinced that the only way to win rings, the only way to win, is to team hop, like Kevin Durant has and is going to do again. That's the only way.
Well, the only player in this generation to stick with a team and win championships is Steph Curry. Could be wrong. Well, let me see. Let's say the current players are still playing. I don't want to say this. The current players still Steph Curry, only person. And him, Clay, Draymond, they only three people that have stuck with a franchise and won championships. Like, yes, you have to put yourself in a better situation to win championships. I don't fault the players for wanting a better situation, because sometimes once you go to a situation, it probably won't even work out. We just see with KD, Kyrie, James Harden with the Nets, it probably won't work out. But listen, that's the witcher class expectations that come with it. Now, if you just stick with your franchise, you say, all right, I just take the money. Don't go on podcasts and stuff, media outlets, and say, oh, I really want to win. I really want to do this. Hey, if you're not putting pressure on your front office, or trying giving indications of, if you keep putting up these lackluster rosters around me, something is going to change. If you don't do that, well, that's what you're gonna get.
Win rings in this current iteration of the NBA. Never have I seen this much slandering of a player that just wants to stay in his own team, like the team that drafted him, the team that gave him so much. Never have I seen so much slander thrown at a player like that. That's so talented. that I've seen in the NBA. I don't see that in any other sport. I think maybe I'm missing it, maybe. But in the NBA, I see it a lot. It's so weird. It's so weird, man.
They did it, and Bradley Beal is a great player. If you put Bradley Beal on a team like Miami or something with great defensive talent, he will look awesome. On this Wizards team, I just don't know where they're going.
That's a good point, too. You could say that. Okay, look. Imagine him on a great defensive team. Imagine if he was on a team that had guys doing so much on defense that, you know, it'll make up for a lot of Bradley Beal's woes on that end. That is a perfectly valid point. I can see people saying that, but people aren't saying that. People are just saying that he's just out here for the money. He just cares about winning. If you had $251 million thrown at your face, would you take it? I'm telling you, most people that say that, they don't understand how much that does for you and your family. How much wealth that is. You could take that money and then accrue even more wealth for generations to come. That's life-changing, life-altering. That is creating. You are creating. That's a legacy right there, right? If people want to talk about Bradley Beal's NBA legacy, right? We'll get into that. That's a legacy right there in terms of him having as much wealth as he's going to accrue now in the next 5 years. He's leaving a legacy for his descendants, and that's something to just admire. That's something that's going to live with his generations. Obviously, if they are to take care of the money and do the proper things, obviously. We've seen families, completely collapse and just have their wealth be utterly reduced to zero. But with Bradley Beal, this is just a great thing to see, and people are just shitting on it because they want to see him play for their favorite team, or they just want to see him win rings, because that's all the NBA is about. The NBA is only about winning.
Whoa! Ain't that the goal? Ain't that the goal when you go to NBA, to win championships? Like, I could care less if Bradley Beal would go to, let's say, Phoenix Suns or Golden State or the Mavericks or something. Matter of fact, I actually want Bradley Beal to go to the Mavericks. That would probably be a good situation for him. Like, it don't have to be my favorite team now. Now, this is speaking for me. It don't have to be my favorite team. Will I love him? Will I like him on the Lakers? Of course. But it's just not in the cards. It is what it is. Like, we just want that man to be in a position to win championships. That is all. Like, when the last time we seen a healthy Bradley Beal in the playoffs? Because in 2021, did he play? Like, that's how bad it was. Bro's on a bad hamstring in that playoffs. It was just not even a waste of time watching it, to be honest. But
obviously, you want to win, but just because Bradley Beal wants to stick in DC doesn't mean that he doesn't want to win. It just means he has a lot. It probably just means he has a lot of love for Washington DC. He probably loves this franchise, and
that's cool.
He wants more than anything to give it a championship, to make it a winning team. What's wrong with that? I mean,
it's a lot.
It's one thing if you want to criticize the front office for giving them such poor players
Beal putting pressure on the front office to build a championship roster?
But it's another to just completely shit on the guy that's doing so much for this franchise and wanting to pay homage and wanting to stay loyal to a franchise that is giving them, a lot. And you could say that, you could criticize the franchise itself, I get it. But at the end of the day, they did give him a lot. They did draft him. So there's a lot that Bradley Beal is playing for. Right? Obviously, he may not win games.
Let me bring this up real quick. There was multiple reports of Steph Curry was about to get traded to the Bucks because of his ankle issues at the beginning of his career. You know how crazy that is? What they went through with that? Now you stuck with a mid-20s, late 20s Montel. Like, no. That's crazy. Then we fast forward and win championship, and then get KD to win more championships. Now that gap year, 2020, 2021, this like 2 seasons ago, bro. You see what happened, right? They missed the playoffs. What happened? They built a championship roster around Steph Curry. They made the playoffs this past season. Not only that, they made it to the finals. That's how you retool a roster to best, get the best utilization out of your best players. That's how you're supposed to do it. Steph and Draymond made sure they was not missing the playoffs again. Like that should be the mentality of folks. That's why we question like folks like Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard. Well, Dame, he actually came out publicly. He's trying to challenge the front office. Put better pieces around. But Bradley Beal, like, we just don't get that same vibe from him. I don't know.
But he's playing for a lot still. And obviously that money, come on. None of you are going to say no to that $250 million. Come on.
No.
It's just so dumb. Now let's get into the clip where they talk about Bradley Beal's legacy.
Say, we're all in on Bradley Beal. Let's take a look at Kyrie.
Interesting for me, the context now in which we're going to probably...
By the way, if the Wizards were to go after Kyrie, they would probably have to give away
at this point
a lot of their assets. I just don't know if
really
they're going to go after Kyrie. Monte Morris is good, but like he said, like they may need a better guard. Boston just got Malcolm Brogdon today. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting look right there. They may go back to the finals with that lineup right there.
So I agree.
Bradley Beal forever now. I mean, you're talking about now he's going to be with an organization for 15 years if he stays there and fills this contract up, and possibly never really being on a relevant team. I mean, he hasn't won a...
What does that mean though? Being on a relevant team? The Wizards are relevant. As far as the NBA is concerned, there's 30 teams right now, and each team is relevant in its own space. The people watching at home in DC or in the DMV, they watch this team.
Oh my God, we doing this?
They watch him play. They may not root for them actively, but they see him. They see what Bradley Beal does. They see how good he is. They see how much he wants to stay.
Come on, bro, let's be real.
And that means something to people. It really does. I'm tired of seeing people shitting on guys just staying on teams that, their franchise are being run poorly. Bro, what do you want them to just lose every day? Do you just want them to leave? Only go to the Lakers and the Heat, right?
No.
That's what you want to see? The Lakers, the Heat, the Golden State Warriors. They should get all the good players because at least they win games, right? What are we doing here? It's so childish. And all of a sudden you want to stay and try to win a chip for the team that drafted you. No, you're not serious. You're not serious now. The only way to be serious in the NBA is the ring chase. Yeah, I said it's so stupid.
Playoff series in 5 years. I'm not mad for the Wizards because when you have a guy in-house and you're even the bad franchises, you have a guy in-house like that, you have to overvalue him or overpay him relative to maybe even how the rest of the league views him. So I understand why they had to do it. I certainly understand why you take $250 million if you're Bradley Beal. I just think this was, to me, his opportunity to hit free agency and go. You're still going to make, what, 4 years, 200 or something like that to go somewhere else. But
was he though? That's never guaranteed, though. At some point, you have to realize he just came off a surgery, a season-ending surgery that we just talked about, and it's like those chances may not come every day. You talk about that 4-year, $200 million, bro. If he went on to play for the Lakers or something, I don't know, and then he suddenly just tore his ACL again, like he tore something, and it's just like it was a career-ending injury. What happens now? What happens to that money that he could have potentially gotten 4 years to?
He would got it. You think these teams gonna give him multiple draft picks for their asset they, traded those picks for just to walk away? That's not how that works. He's going to get the money no matter what happens. Especially if he having a good season. Like, come on, bro. The Knicks literally paid KD just to rehab for the first season. Like, no. We not doing that. We not doing that. So, come on, bro.
$100 million. He's not getting that off rip. No, he's gonna play 1 year, and then he's gonna have to get that money. That's how it works. That's how it works when guys ring chase, man. Oh my god. So Bradley Beal's not going to get that 200 million when he hops onto a bandwagoning team. No, he's gonna get that money after a year or two of playing for them and winning games and perhaps winning playoff series. The NBA, you're only relevant in the NBA if you ring chase. Is what I've learned today.
But maybe put yourself in a position where you're playing games in April, May, and June potentially, and it just didn't seem like that was something that he was interested in.
So now, if you're trying to play for a team that drafted you, if you're trying your damn best to win games for them, you're not putting yourself in a position to play for April, May, June. No, you're hurting yourself. You are actively shooting yourself in the foot. That's the overall analysis that we're seeing here. No wonder guys like KD ring chase. No wonder if you're a star. I mean, it doesn't matter which side you're on. It does not matter whether or not you are KD, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving. You're going to be slandered whichever way you go. If you go to a ring chasing team and you somehow still lose, you're getting slandered. If you stick with the team that drafted you, you'll still get slandered. I mean, there's no winning here. The only way to win is to do the almost impossible, it seems, and it's to ring chase and then actually win those rings and then ring chase again and then win it again. If you somehow go 1 of 2, 2 of 3, and you lose one of those rings, you lose at one of those teams, you're going to get slandered. You're going to get slandered because you didn't win. It's almost like if you go in a super team, you're almost obligated to win a ring for that team. You're almost in a position to where if you don't win a ring, you're going to be slandered either way. There's no winning if you're an NBA star. You have to do either way. And at this point, for Bradley Beal,
in that example he gave, I don't know, I never heard that example. Let's bring up the most recent example, KD. Bro, nobody brings up that ring. The ring they should have won if KD didn't get hurt. Nobody brings that up to destroy Curry legacy. Let's stop that. Now that's the only example I could think of that he probably referring to. But yeah, I never heard that example. Maybe the Boston Celtics in 08. I mean, they could have won more, but 09 KG towards what happened to his knee? He tore his knee up. I don't know what happened. And then 2010 he just lost to the better team. It just is, and then they just got older. But yeah, those are the only examples I could think of where a team that was brought together to win championships, underperformed to their expectations.
The best thing that he should have done, if you're listening to all of the NBA hotheads, the fans and everything, is to ring chase. That's the best case scenario for Bradley Beal if you don't want to get slandered like this. But Bradley Beal doesn't care. At least I hope he doesn't. But obviously a guy like KD, he cares. And it's part of the reason why he would ring chase like he does.
He's very happy where he's at, I guess. But now he's going to be in relative obscurity for 15 years probably.
What? Relative obscurity? Did he just say that? Like, you're not talking about him right now, but I know what people are gonna say. He only comes up in these shows when his contract is up. That's the only way we find out about it. Stop lying to me. Stop lying to me. And you're gonna tell me right now you don't watch Bradley Beal. You don't watch Wizards games as much as you probably watch your favorite team play the Wizards.
Man, I only watch the Wizards
Bradley Beal is so good.
Twice a year. That's
not going to. No. Relative obscurity.
Maybe
if
sometimes
anything,
when they play Clippers. I don't know.
Man, it's just so frustrating. Articles like these. The Washington Post, man. I don't like outlets like this saying this is a participation trophy. I get it. This is a criticism hinted that is directed towards the Wizards front office. I get it. But man, that's just horrible. That's horrible language. I just don't like the framing of this. Because now all of a sudden, this is throwing shade at Bradley Beal too. What do you mean participation trophy? What do you mean he's not? You mean he doesn't deserve that money? You trying to say that he didn't play for that money? He didn't. Oh, the reason why they didn't win games was because of him now? Is that what you're saying? Are you going as far as to say that Bradley Beal is what makes this team not make the play? That's where, like, I'm flabbergasted every time. And it's like relative obscurity. When we talk about legacy, part of what accounts for the conversation is your impact on the landscape of the NBA. And one of those impacts is seen with Jason Tatum. A good buddy of his, a mentor, right? Bradley Beal was a mentor of Jason Tatum, right? When Jason Tatum was in his freshman year in high school, guess who was there in the senior year? Bradley Beal was there. And guess who was the one mentoring him in that same school in St. Louis? It was Bradley Beal there. And I mean, Jason Tatum can tell the story for himself. I mean, I'm going to let him just say it.
It was either my freshman or sophomore year, like one of my spring breaks. Brad was like, he just texted me. He like, yo, like, ask your mom, can you come up here and just like come chill with me and come to a couple games? I'm like, all right, man, I'm out. Like, I went up to DC. I spent like a week with him and his brothers. Went to a couple games, but like even in the summertime, Brad would come home, and it would be times where he would pull up in front of my crib, 9 o'clock in the morning. He'd call me. I'm asleep. He called me like, yo, come on, bro, I'm outside. I'm like, damn, all right, let me get in the shower. And I would just like, I would get in the car with him, we go get something to eat, we go work out, and then we go to his crib, play the game, chill, and then we go work out again, and he'd take me home. Like, it's plenty of times, summers, where I like would spend the whole day with him, and like, we just be out. But it was always just like, he always was telling me that, you know, he wanted to do for me what, you know, nobody did for him. And, you know, from that point on, I've always had, you know, none but love and the most respect, because, you know, he didn't have to do that, right? From day one, he always told me he wanted me to be better than him. You know, he wanted to show me, you know, the ins and outs, the things that he wished he knew. And, you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Brad.
That says a lot right there. The utmost respect that Tatum has for Bill. And we all know Tatum at this point is a top 10 player in the NBA. I don't know what to tell you, man. I know that finals performance was poor from him. And you expect him to at least have one of those standout games that really solidifies his, you know, playoff run that he was having up to that point. It didn't happen.
I can't give it to.
He wasn't able to win. It seemed like, from the outside looking in, that he may have been dealing with some shoulder issues. Doesn't matter though. You're still gonna get cooked for what you did in finals. But Jason Tatum, he has the utmost respect for his mentor because of what he was able to translate, what he was able to teach him, how he impacted him growing up, you know, developing his NBA acumen, his game. That's the impact right there. That's legacy. That's called legacy right there. When you have a Jason Tatum, you know, that's going to be one of those players that's going to stick around for a long time, make his name known to everyone watching basketball. A guy like that, he's going to shower praise upon Bradley Beal every once in a while, and he's going to show everyone, okay, this guy is no joke. He's the one that taught me a lot of those things that you see on the court right now. Him. He's that guy. That's legacy. I don't think you understand. That's...
Yeah, I also watch a YouTuber named Stunt Growth, right? He go over players that, you know, had their growth stunt. You know, that's the point of his YouTube channel. Now, I've heard of, like, plenty of players, like, you know, Kevin Durant. I forgot the player name. He was like a hybrid, like a power forward, small forward. And KD said he watched this game. He tried to study how his movement patterns, all that. Bro, guess what? We never heard of that player. It's just the way it is, bro. Like, some of these players have probably a tremendous impact on these players, the ones playing right now. They probably have tremendous, but we don't know them. That's the thing. Let's say down the line when Bradley Beal retired, we probably gonna know who Bradley Beal is. But anybody down the line gonna remember him? Like that. Like that is the expectations. Like it. I don't know.
Impact that says a lot more than a random fan saying, "Oh, you know, Bradley Beal is just a wizard that's never won a game. He's never won a meaningful game."
Now that's facts.
Those people can go, you know, go touch grass for all I care. They can go suck an egg because those people, when they talk about relevance, I mean, Jason Tatum was relevant in this situation. Let's be honest with ourselves. He's in the NBA. He was in the finals just now. I mean, come on. A lot of that is owed to Bradley Beal himself. So you talk about the impact that guys have. It's ridiculous. And of course, Jason Tatum, he gave him that congratulations back. He said, look, you deserve your money. Let me hold $1. That's funny. Jason, don't worry. You're going to get that money soon, bro. Oof. Ooh-wee. Most paid player in NBA history. That might be you in the future, man. JT, man. You're going crazy, man. I'm telling you. You might be watching at home confused because we've talked about Bradley Beal all this time and little mention of KD, right? What does KD fit in the story? And I know some of you probably clicked off because I just talked about Bradley Beal this whole time. Don't you think KD sees all this? Don't you think guys like KD see the way NBA media and fans treat Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal for sticking up for their team? For wanting to stay and play more games for their team, the team that drafted them? Don't you think KD was like, hey yo bro, there's no point in me doing that, bro. I'm just gonna get hate either way. I lose games, I'm still gonna get slandered because, oh, I'm not in a winning team. Like, that's my fault all of a sudden. Because now, guess what, LeBron James, obviously you got guys in the 90s did it, but they did it when they were much older. LeBron was the first to really do it in his prime and say, I'm gonna ring chase and go to Miami. KD said, wow. That opened his eyes right there. He said, bro, why am I gonna get this slander if I could just do what LeBron did and get all the admiration that he has now? I said that's what he did in OKC. He went to Golden State. And then Golden State, he's like, man, I still don't feel good, man. I got 2 chips, yeah, but they'll be saying Curry's the guy. They're all looking at Curry, like. But that's because Curry was drafted there, right? That's really the dream for a lot of these guys. Get drafted by the team.
And guess what? You know the team that drafted KD, they was showing more love to Russell Westbrook. That's the crazy part. Like, KD was giving his all. Him and Russell Westbrook. There's not take away from Russell Westbrook. They was both giving their all, but they was giving, instead of heaping the praise on both of them, they heaped the praise on Russell Westbrook. They tried to protect Russell Westbrook. Like, they tried to protect KD, but it wasn't nearly as close to the level as they did Russell Westbrook. Not nearly. So, no. And plus, in his first situation, no, matter of fact, let's bring it up. In LeBron's first situation, his first thing with the Cavs, what did the Cavs do to surround LeBron James? LeBron James with talent, huh? They ain't do nothing. They ain't do their job. They instead of getting Amari Stoudemire, they decided to sell with J.J. Hickson. Like, what are we doing here, bro? If LeBron James decided to stay with that Cavs team, put no pressure on to, you know, to be a better team, LeBron would got slandered to the max. That, bro, the slander LeBron would got, nobody in history, I mean nobody, would, you know, come back from that. So he had to get out the situation. Now with KD's situation, now back in the day, I didn't agree with the move. But as I'm looking at it now, bro, Russell Westbrook, Andre Roberson, Steven Adams, Ibaka. That just sound like horrid spacing. Like, and they offense was basic. Here, Russ. Here, your turn. All right, it's my turn. Like, bro, Man, they was working in phone booths. So, to be honest, if you looking back at it, how was they even up 3-1? Like, and KD said this multiple times. He wanted to be in a situation to bury himself as a player. Was he going to do it with that spacing? No, to be honest, no.
Work your way up and win a ring with them. But it's so damn hard to do that. It's so damn hard for these guys to do it. It's so hard. Damian Lillard, all the slander he gets lately, I mean, he was getting some love. He was getting so much love when the bubble was happening. I remember I was so happy when he won that playing game, made it to the playoffs. Damian Lillard, for some reason, at that point, he was like the best point guard in the NBA. I mean, he was the bubble MVP. He was ranked over Curry in the top 10 players of the NBA-ish. I remember that was a very interesting time. But it's like with Kevin Durant, he's looking at all this and saying, okay, now that I'm in Brooklyn, I'm not winning games. I'm not winning meaningful games. Okay, I'm just going to leave again. Right? Because he sees guys like Bradley Beal, they're sticking it up. They're trying their damn best to win meaningful games, as they say. To win meaningful games for their teams. And it's not working out. And now people are hating on them because of that fact. All of a sudden, all those losses is primarily on them, right? And Kevin Durant, he doesn't want to have all that burden on him. So he's like, what's the point of doing that if I could just do the LeBron thing? And one more time, let's see if I can get one more ring. I don't know, Phoenix, Miami. Is it a coincidence that he's mentioned those two teams? I know it's not him directly, but the people talking about this, is it not a coincidence that he mentions Phoenix and Miami? The two #1 seeds in the East and West, respectfully? Like, this is a play to win ring. Because KD knows, if I'm going to stay in Brooklyn one more year, I'm just going to get slandered even more. And as much as KD says he doesn't care about the slander, he does. He's on his phone all the time. We've heard the people say, this guy, he's glued to Twitter. You see him reply to people for no good reason other than to just reply. That's what he does. It's like at this point, it's his part-time job to be on Twitter. Maybe Twitter's gonna give him some money for that. I don't know. He could turn that into some lucrative business opportunities and Twitter Spaces and stuff. I don't know. That's a KD conversation though. That's up to him. All this to say though, with Bradley Beal and his situation right now, it just opens my eyes even more to why KD is even doing this in the first place. Isn't it so obvious now when you see people slandering Beal? And obviously, a lot of them, they're well-intentioned. They just want to see the guy win. But at the end of the day, it comes across as though you're just slandering the guy. Right? When somebody that's not really that much of a fan of the NBA watches that, and they see a player being slandered, they're thinking to themselves, okay, well, a guy like KD, okay, I see what he's doing, right? He's doing the right thing, right? The right thing in this case becomes ring chasing. So that's why in the NBA, that's the norm. That's the name of the game. Ring chasing. When you're a star, that's what you must do. That's all I have to say, man. It's upsetting that we keep seeing the same thing every year. All I'll say is, I cannot wait for the next CBA. Oh, it's gonna be so glorious. At this point, I just want to see it all burn down.
No. He said a lot. He said a lot in the in portion of the video. No. He said the reason he made the video and he see why KD ring chase. No. The reason why KD's leaving now is because of, Kyrie not getting his money. And which is fair, I guess fair for them too, but not fair for the front office. So yeah, that's up to you what side you on. Now, even if KD goes to either number one seed, they are not guaranteed to win the championship though, because look at Phoenix. They gonna lose Deion. They gonna lose most of their deal. They gonna lose Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. That's if that's if either Brooklyn or third team want them, bro. That roster gonna be significantly worse. So that's not guaranteed. You go to Miami, it's gonna even be harder to even trade pieces there. Like, they say Brooklyn is not interested in none of the Miami Heat pieces. So yeah, that's one. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It is this KD stuff, him ring chasing. It's not guaranteed. There's no reason why folks should be so, hot. Like, there's no reason to be so hot. It's just the way it is. It's just ring culture, bro. No, is the rings end all be all? No. But is it good for a player to, maximize the first situation to try, either put pressure on the front office or try to go find another better situation? And I don't see what's wrong with that. Now, there probably would be a lockout in the new CBA. Probably would. But, yeah, that's all I got to say. It's your boy, Chur. Him out.